All right, welcome everybody to today's video. Today I want to briefly just discuss long-term water storage and particular storage in plastic containers and what is safe and what is not. Recently I've been doing a little bit more study on this because I've been reading a book that I plan to do a book review on. And the information that they had in there about the types of plastics was a little bit contradictory to what I've known sort of all along. So I wanted to dig into it a little bit deeper and find out, if the guidance had changed or something like that. So in this video, I'm going to share with you what I found, and I'm going to let you know what types of plastics are sufficient and safe for long-term water storage. So first and foremost, what you want to do is if you're looking to store water in plastic containers, you want to flip the container over. You want to see what the plastic number is, the type that's listed on the bottom of the storage container. So the different types of plastics that are considered safe for storage are going to be numbered 1, 2, 4, and 5. Now 7 is also included in some of the literature that I found, but the jury's kind of out on that because the category 7 plastics are considered sort of a catch-all or an other category. And basically what that means is those types of containers can include different types of plastics. So it's not generally considered safe for long-term water storage. Interestingly enough, I checked a bunch of the Nalgene bottles that I have, and they all show a number 7 on the bottom. And obviously they're safe for drinking water. So what I'm going to assume there is that anything labeled a 7 is probably good for very short-term use, but probably not good for long-term water storage. So in my house and in my stockpiles, I use all kinds of different water storage. I use everything from Nalgene bottles for daily use. I have a water bladder that I can put in my tub in case of an emergency and fill it up that holds a whole bunch of water. Different types of water pitchers. What I did is I went through my house and through my garage and my storage, and I just started pulling out different things that I use either day to day or for long-term water storage to confirm, what I knew those containers, what types of plastics they were made from. So the bulk of my water storage in my garage is various plastic containers that range from 7-gallon plastic containers to 5-gallon. Also, I have some really old school, what I think are military water jugs. What I found with all of these when I checked them, which I kind of knew before, is that the blue water jugs were a 2. The old military style didn't have any type of information on them regarding what kind of plastic they were made out of. So if nothing else, I'm going to assume that they at least have BPA in them, and they're probably not very safe for long-term water storage. Still keep a lot of water in those because I consider that to be gray water. So it's water that I can use for bathing and that kind of thing if needed. One thing I did is I've got a lot of just basic gallons of water from the store laying around. So I took one of these gallon jugs and I flipped it over, and I noticed that it's got a 2 on the bottom. So it's definitely, that falls in line with, obviously, they're selling it as a gallon of water. So having it as a 2 means that it's safe for long-term storage. I took a water pitcher in my house just because I only use it obviously on a short-term basis, but I wanted to see what type of plastic it was made out of. So I got it and I flipped it over and it's labeled a 5. So again, safe to use. Obviously it can only generally be used in short-term, but if you needed to use it for long-term, it would be safe to do so. I also checked my Aquapod, which is the bladder that can go inside your bathtub. In case of an emergency, you can fill this up. Mine holds like 60 or 65 gallons of water. It's labeled a 4. So again, safe for long-term water storage. Also, if you think about it, a lot of people will talk about ways that you can find water in an emergency if you don't have water stockpiled. One thing I often see people mention is that your garden hoses outside your house may have water sitting in them. This is actually pretty dangerous for you to drink. The type of plastic that a garden hose is made out of will leach chemicals into any water that's been standing inside that hose for a long period of time. So I'm not really sure why people think that that's drinkable water. It's really not, so you need to be aware. I never drink out of a garden hose, even if the water's running, and I certainly don't even like refill my dog's water bowl with that water. So it's just important to know that if you're going to be storing water long term, you need to know what kind of plastic it's going to be in. Avoid number 3 plastics, number 6 plastics, and I suppose long term you should probably avoid number 7 as well and only use those in the short term. I hope this video gave you a little bit of insight into the differences in plastics and how they relate to safe water long-term storage. Everybody have a great day. Take care.